Welcome back to another video. Today we will be crocheting this cute mini star. So let's get started. So first we're going to use some yellow yarn. It doesn't have to be yellow. I'm just going to use yellow. And then here I have a 3.75 millimeter hook. Normally I would use 3.5 millimeter for this yarn, but I'm going to be crocheting a little bit more loosely, so I'm using a slightly bigger one. And then where you have a stitch marker, this one's honestly optional if you can tell which one you started off with very well. So I won't be using this, but it's useful to still have. You're going to need a knitting needle and some scissors. So first you're going to take the yarn and make a magic ring. And then from here we're going to do 5 single crochets into the magic ring. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then tighten the ring. And from here we're going to find the very first stitch. And then stick our hook through it. And we're going to pull through. And you can do a slip stitch here, but I'm going to choose not to and just continue straight on to the second round. So I'm going to yarn over and pull through the 2 loops to do a single crochet. And into the same stitch that I just made a single crochet into, I'm going to stick my hook in again and then make another single crochet. So I just did 2 and 1, and you're going to do that all the way around, so you should have a total of 10 stitches by the end of this. So I'm just going to go into the next one, this one, and that's 2. You could have stuck the stitch marker into the very first one that you did earlier, but I'm just going to count. So I've done 4 so far. To the next one, that's 5, to the same one, 6, to the next one, 7, same one, 8, last one here, last increase, so that's 9, and then that's 10. So now we're going to start making the little points of the star. So here into the next stitch you're going to stick your hook in, make a slip stitch, so pull through and just pull through again. Don't make the slip stitches too tight when you're doing this, because you're going to need to stick it in there again. And then into the next stitch right here you're going to do 3 single crochets into the same stitch. So that's 1 into the same one, 2, and that's 3. Now into the next stitch we're going to do a slip stitch, and then again into the next one we're going to do 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. So you can slowly see little bumps forming. So far we've made 2 bumps, and we're going to do 3 more of the slip stitching and doing 3 single crochets. So right now, into the next one you're going to do a slip stitch and then do 3 single crochets into the next one. That's 1, 2, 3. Again, slip stitch, do 3, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch, and last little point of the star, I'm going to do 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. To start the next round, we're going to start off with a slip stitch. Here you can see the 5 points now. For the fourth round, we're going to first do a slip stitch. If you can see here, there's the slip stitch that I made from the previous round before. You can choose to stick your hook through it, which might be a little difficult if the slip stitch is too tight. If that's the case, you can stick it into the stitch where you made the slip stitch into. So here, this is the slip stitch. You can stick it into it. If you can't, just stick it in this hole. I will be just sticking it into the hole because it's easier. And just pull through. Okay, so this is the slip stitch right here. Into this next one, you're going to do a single crochet. Like so. And then into the next one, you're going to do 3 single crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3. Next one, you're going to do a single crochet. So you're going to be repeating a sequence of slip stitch, then single crochet, 3 single crochets into 1, single crochet. And you're going to just repeat that all the way around 4 more times since we've already done 1, and you can see the point forming there. I'll just do 1 more. Remember, this is the slip stitch right here. You can choose to stick your hook into it or stick your hook into the stitch where you made the slip stitch. So I'm just going to do that. And then don't get tricked because it can be a little hidden, but this is the next stitch right here. You're going to stick your hook through it, make a single crochet, do 3 into the next one, and then do 1 single crochet into the next one. So now you're going to repeat that 3 more times. So I'm back. We've done 5 points. You can see the star slowly taking a little bit more definite shape here. And now for the very last round, what we're going to do is do a sequence of slip stitch, single crochet, 5 single crochets into 1, single crochet, slip stitch. And so to start that off, this was the slip stitch here that we made from the previous round. You can kind of see them right here because I stuck them into the stitch where the slip stitch was made. But we're not going to do one into the slip stitch at all. We're just going to go into the first stitch that we actually have right there. So not this one, we're going to go into this one. And then we're going to make a slip stitch there. Into the next stitch, we're going to do just 1 single crochet, then do 5 into the next one. Okay, and it might be kind of hard to see since it's hidden, but it's this one right here, that's the next one. You're going to do a single crochet, and then into this one right here, you're going to do a slip stitch. So you've done 1. To do the next one, again, this is the slip stitch from before. We're not going to do it into that one, we're going to do into that one right there. So stick your hook through it, make a slip stitch, then into the next one do a single crochet, to the next one do 5 of them, and then kind of hidden here, but it's this one right here, do a single crochet, and then into the next one do a slip stitch. So you're just going to repeat that 3 more times for each of the points, and I'll be back. So I just finished all 5 points, and I made my last slip stitch, so I'm just going to extend this here, and then leave a tail long enough for sewing. This part is optional, you can just keep one side like this, but I'm going to choose to sew 2 back to back together. So I'm going to cut about this much. pull through. And you have a star right here. Now I already have another one here, so I'm just going to sew those two together like this. So I'm just going to take my long tail here and stick it through my knitting needle. And here I'm going to cut my magic ring strings a little bit shorter so that they're not in the way when I sew them together. Like that. This one was just a short tail, and I'm just going to stick it into the middle as best as possible. I'm going to match the two places where I ended off together like this, and now I'm just going to sew them together. You can do it the easy way by sticking through both of the V's and just pulling through like that, but I'm going to choose to just take the loops that are away from me, so the back loops only. So you see the V here? I'm going to stick it only into the back loop. And then same thing over here. Make sure it's matched up correctly. There's a V here. I'm going to stick it into this one only. And then I'm just going to go back and forth, stick it into the back loop only of that one right there. Same for this one right here. Pull through. Same thing for the next one. Back loop. Back loop right there. Pull through. And you're just going to do that all the way around, going back and forth, and only grabbing the back loops like so. You can see it's kind of giving a little bit of a cleaner effect. So I'll be back after I sew all the way around. So here I'm almost at the end. There's like a hole here. If you want, you can put a little bit of stuffing on the inside to make it kind of puffy, but I'm just going to keep it like this, like kind of flat. And so just gonna finish off here with the sewing. This is the tail that I left from one side of the star. I'm just going to make sure to tuck it in real deep inside, hold it in place so that it doesn't stick out while I'm sewing the rest of this together. And once you're done with that, I'm just going to stick it into the middle area right here, poke out kind of at a random place, pull through, and you can either choose to knot it, stick it back in, stick it out another hole, and then cut it, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my needle and stick it in between some of the single crochets like this. So I'm just going to wiggle it through some of them to hold it in place. And you can smooth it out to make sure it doesn't show up that much. Like that. I'm just going to stick it back into a different hole, pull it out through again, and I'm going to cut it right here. Just shape it up a little bit, and then you have your little star. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this little small tutorial on how to make a star. If you check my description box for all of my videos, I have a few links to different sites where you can donate scarves, mittens, beanies. to help those in need. So if you guys have watched my scarf tutorial videos, you can make those. Consider donating to those sites to help out another person. I hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time. Thank you.